Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's having a
Yeah.
great Saturday. This is an amazing Saturday because we get to talk to the Cades, and they are an amazing couple that I met some time back, and their genuine hearts and love for one another just goes along with this series, Black in Love. For those of you who are just tuning in or you're catching the replay, I'm Sharonda. I'm your dream coach and online dating specialist. Hey, I just was coined the date guru in Tampa last week, so I might use that later. But for right now, I'm just here to help you fulfill your dreams in life and love by encouraging you to do what you've been called to do, to empower you through couples like this and give you education to get it done. So, Black in Love, why are we doing this? It's Black History Month, and it was also Valentine's Day this month, so why not put them both together? So far, we have interviewed over 100 years of marriages in the Black community, and we do not want to sleep on that. So we're keeping it going with the case. What's going on,
What's up,
Case?
Sharonda? How you doing?
I'm
Hi.
doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for being on the show. We are going to just ask you from the beginning because I just told you how many years we've talked about. How long have y'all been married?
23 years.
it'll
Woo!
be it'll be 23 years. Yeah. And
Wow. So with 2 decades of
yeah.
marriage sitting before us, ladies, if you're out there, you want to go ahead and write down, get your notebooks, okay? Get your pads out. We want to talk and figure out everything they're going to say because 23 years is a very long time.
It is.
How did you all meet?
That's an interesting story. We met when we were 14,
Okay.
actually, and I was on the track team coming from track practice. She was at her high school. We were at two different high schools, and we lived in the same area.
Okay.
And I usually got picked up, coming from school, but having track practice, ran late. I didn't have a
Right.
ride, so I had to catch the bus. Something that
Okay.
I rarely ever do. My father would say,
Yeah, he would joke and say the one time Brandon got the bus, he got me.
"Yeah,
So
Wow.
yeah, and
Okay.
so on my side, I was at a high school that wasn't close to home, and I had actually missed a bus. So
Mm.
which caused me to miss a second bus.
mhm,
And so I would have
mhm,
never been on this particular route at that time. And so
Wow.
I was on the bus and he was running to the bus stop from track practice. And the bus driver actually stopped and saw him running and waited for him to get on there. And
Oh,
so
wow.
so it was definitely meant to be.
Wow,
mhm."
that's a lot going on. Wouldn't do the bus. You missed the bus. They waited. All the stuff that normally does not happen at 14.
Yes,
Yes, yes.
14.
My God, that's amazing. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So, so what we need to do is get on track teams. We need to find different routes to get home, y'all.
Hey, just keep living,
That's
stay busy,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get where you're going, and along the
Mhm.
way, love will find you.
that's
Yes,
it.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. So we're going, okay, so 14, my goodness. When did you know that this person was the one? Was it, like, how did you know they were the one and when?
For me, I think it was after college. It was
Okay.
after college and just trying to find myself.
Hmm.
It wasn't a clear, happy
Yeah.
road to that
Right.
point.
Right.
It was other
Mhm.
relationships that came, to
Mhm.
an adversity, I would say.
Right. Okay.
But
Okay.
I would say after college. So you talking about going through high school, going
Hmm.
through college, and
Hmm.
kind of having this like this is this is who I want to spend my life with. Honestly, for me, I kind of didn't want to see her with nobody else. So that
That's
was more
honest.
that was part of the thing. Man, we kind of said like I don't want to see you with nobody else, and
Mm.
so anyway,
That's
so that
really good.
yeah, I mean, and that was one of it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and but I really loved her, and
Yeah.
so I said, hey, I want to spend my life with you, and so
Nice. Nice. Angel, how about you?
I
When
think for
and how
me,
did you know he was the one?
it was funny. I don't know if he remembers this, but when we were kids, he told me that I was going to be his wife. And I was like, I don't even really know you. But he was just so sweet. And I think
Mhm.
that as we went through, being young adults, and as we went through, college and separation and
Mhm.
and heartache and tough times, and
Mhm.
it just there was something about our relationship that kept drawing us back to each other.
Mm.
And I think for me, just to have a partner in life that is going to be committed, and you've been through so much
Mhm.
that it makes it you become confident that, hey, if we can go through this, we can go through
Mhm.
anything together. And
Right.
just being able to like really partner in not only good times but also the hard times as well.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. What stood out to me was that you said there was something that kept drawing us back together, and that's something you can't. That's something you can't muster up. You can't make. That's just an internal draw. Sounds like.
Mhm.
Do y'all agree?
I agree.
Yeah, and I think that's something to look for. Then, huh?
Yeah.
It
No,
definitely is.
absolutely. And I think it's sometimes it's like you said, it's something you don't muster. It's something
Mm-hmm.
you don't conjure. It's something that
Mm-hmm.
you don't force. It
Mm.
really is a natural kind of attraction. I think over the years we really at our heart were friends, and we had to care for each other, and our families were intertwined. Like we understood some of the basic fundamentals, and it made a huge difference that when things happen, we were
Mm-hmm.
able to come back to what we would have as like home base, right? So
Nice.
like together felt like home base.
Nice, nice. That's very, very good. That's very good. We are here interviewing the Cades in a Black in Love series. They're already dropping fire. Oh my gosh, this is really cool. They met at 14 and knew they were each other's ones after college. This is crazy.
Hold on,
And there's
Sharonda.
a natural
I'm
draw
gonna show
that.
some proof on that.
Said it again.
I'm gonna show some proof on that 14.
Yeah, we got
So
that's really good. Yeah, because we got to know. I'm
I
telling
didn't.
you, I'm already really impressed because you talked about the natural drawing, and having a home base. So you mentioned friendship, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you
You
have
can
a
see that.
friendship, okay. Oh snap! I can't see it. I can't. Check out the picture.
Yeah.
He had
Yep.
the face.
Tat
She had
out.
the face to this.
Yes.
Continue.
Brandon, let me tell you something. Nobody's ever brought proof on
See,
this. Oh my God, that's awesome.
we about proof, baby.
That was awesome. That's really good. That was really good. Awesome. Thank you for bringing that.
You welcome.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so friendship, home base.
Yes.
We got the pictures and proof. What helped you beyond the natural draw to overcome challenges? Okay, because they're gonna come. We know that. If you're single and you're looking at just the rosy parts, and we do, let me tell you, I know sometimes you have a fantasy in your head, and when it doesn't come, you may not have a home base to rely on. So it crumbles. But if you have a fantasy that nothing's going to happen, I want you to go ahead and demystify that. That's a myth. How do we overcome them when they do, though? What are some strategies y'all use to overcome challenges?
Well, definitely communication.
Okay.
I mean, challenges is built into life. It's gonna happen. I don't
Right.
care. Yeah, like you said, that whole
Yeah.
demystify that,
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a story. It's a
Disney story. I'm
fantasy. It's
sorry,
Yeah.
Disney, but people have these Disney
Right.
stories, but yeah,
Right.
it's a you're gonna have challenges. It's built into the equation,
Mm-hmm.
and that adversity, those challenges will dictate the character of what comes out of you.
Mm-hmm.
How you deal with things, and
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
the person will be able to see if that's the one for her or if that's the one for
Mm-hmm.
him, and
Mm-hmm.
so it it's built in. But
Mm-hmm.
communication,
Mm-hmm.
communicating about it, actually physically talking about it, I
Yeah.
think is key. And I think a lot of couples, they lack that. They lack the communication, or they
Mm-hmm.
communicate in a way the other person don't receive the communication.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And you have to be able to, I mean, it's just like a phone. If I'm calling you, Sharonda, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't pick up,
Right.
I'm just gonna
Mhm.
leave you a message. That's my
Right.
way of
Woo.
communication. But you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah.
if we connect together, now there's more probability and chance that we
So
can
good.
resolve something, because now we're going back and forth. But if I
Yes.
call, leave you a message, and then you call me back and leave me a message, you know what I mean? Now
Mm,
we got all these, you leave me a message. You certain people, you get, leaving a message, is not really talking to the person. It's talking
right.
to the person, but it's not talking to the person.
Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
talking with the
Yeah,
person, it's talking
Yeah.
at the
there you go.
person, right? And
Right.
so it's like, for example, like Brandon, after so many text messages, he's like, just call
You
me.
call
You know
me.
what I mean? Like,
Right.
I can't, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like he doesn't work well with that communication. Like, okay, this is too many
I'm old school.
sentences. I'm
Right.
like, you need to pick up,
I'm
right?
with you.
So just really kind of getting somebody's love language, getting somebody's
Mm,
communication vibe, getting
right.
somebody's way that they want to, or that they're able to receive information. For
Right.
some people, they are very passionate, they need to hear the tonality. For others,
Mm-hmm.
they just want it to be, just give it to me straight, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. But as you learn people, then you begin to figure out what's the best way, to
Mm-hmm.
communicate with each other. And
Right.
so for us,
Mm,
I think in terms of all the challenges we've been through, we've been able to weather the storm, because
mm,
at the end of the day, no matter how upset we are, no matter how frustrated or hurt,
mm-hmm.
we have a conversation,
Mm.
and
That's so good.
we come back and we have a conversation and talk through the points, and we don't always agree,
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
but I'm sorry, did you say amen? We don't always agree, but we are going to talk it through, and we are going to allow for a respectable allowance for it
Mhm.
to be expressed, whatever it is that you're thinking. And
Right.
I do want to mention that for us, we've probably, two of the major areas that cause divorce, which, finance, and then another which has a huge divorce rate, is people that have children with disabilities. And so our son,
Mhm.
who's autistic and spent the first 6 months in the hospital, we
Mhm.
realized as we mentored and spoke with other families and other people, that it was a
Mhm.
huge, it was a huge weight on the family structure. And if you don't
Mhm.
have these basic fundamentals in place, it can break when
Yeah.
those things come, when those types of challenges are presented, with
Right.
how you're going to handle this next journey or episode or season of your life.
Right.
Correct.
Right. Wow. So making sure that you physically talk,
Got
right?
to.
Make
That's a
Yeah,
must.
yeah. Make sure we're not just leaving messages. I mean, in the interim, but making sure you physically talk, and like you said, and making sure that when you do have these things, that even if you don't agree, y'all still decide a conversation needs to be had. Like really just sitting down so you can overcome it. When I'm listening to y'all, I'm hearing like tough character. Like there's something in both of you that means like there's a substance to you. How did you get it? Is this something you have from home? Is this something you were taught? How do you know that when you don't want to talk and you don't agree, that you still just need to sit down and have this conversation? We got the child, our child that we need to take care of. We got our home base. Where did this come from?
That's a great question, Sharonda.
Mm.
I think it's just internal. I mean,
Mm,
it's part of your makeup. It's part of just your
mm,
DNA, and if it's something that you don't have, it can be developed. It's like
mm.
who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Do you want to
Okay,
be
yeah,
this great parent? Do you want to be this great husband? Do you want to be this great dad? Do you want to be this great business
right.
person? This great, whatever. It's like, what do you want to be? And
Mm-hmm.
then, at the end of the day, is you looking at yourself in the mirror, like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it develops over time,
Mm-hmm.
and the adversity and the challenges, like I said, they're embedded
Right,
into the deal. It's going to
right,
happen, but
right.
I think they're necessary at the same time,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what is going. You never get tested. If you never get tested,
Right.
somebody never slap you upside your head. You never, what's you gonna
Yeah.
knock them out. You never know what
Right.
provokes you until something happens. And so I think, to answer your
Yeah.
question, is it's something that's developed, something that just
Yeah.
who you are at the core of your
Mm-hmm.
being, or if
Mm-hmm.
that makes any sense, but
Yeah.
just something. Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become? Do you want to be that person to make it work?
Yes.
Are you that person that run away and
Right.
you keep doing what you do
Yeah.
Right.
wherever you go? It's
Right.
like somebody say, well, it's like they're not the problem. It might be you the problem, because you try to go to
Mm-hmm.
another relationship you're going to take that same person with you everywhere you go. And so that
That's
cycle
true.
still happens. So
Right.
that's
Right.
my thought on it.
The other thing that I would just add to it is that in terms of examples or things, I think some of it is what you see, like he said, like who do you want to be, and you're seeing and you're modeling. The other thing is also who you don't want to be. You know, what you see is missing in your
That's
house
good.
or
That's
missing
really
from your
good.
parents. A lot of times, you know, we come from backgrounds or where our parents' relationships weren't necessarily model relationships. They
Right.
weren't perfect relationships. So from that, being able to glean enough and say, you know, I want to have a different experience in my love life. I want to have a different experience in my communication. I want to have a different experience with, you know, whatever it is. And so for me, I think it was also looking at things that I wanted to change that I saw in my, you know, home growing up, or saw or my parents, or maybe even friends. I might go over and see something, be like, oh, not doing that, or oh, you know what, I love the way that happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being able to glean and learn from others, all lessons, you know, it's some, you know, it's a great lesson when you can learn it by looking at others and not necessarily have to, you know what I mean, have the hard knocks. I guess even this conversation is about giving someone the tools, techniques, resources, language, so that they
Right.
don't have to bump their heads. They don't have to be divorced. They don't have to hurt as much. They don't have to be alone. They don't have to suffer in the ways that others have. So being able to learn those lessons as well.
That's awesome. I totally agree. Think of who you want to be and who you don't want to be. So we don't have the ability, either way, what you've seen can inspire you one way or the other to have the relationship you want. Because either you see it in the light that you're with, or you see it in the light you're not with, and you're willing to change it. You're willing to put in the
And
work. You're absolutely right.
you just said something that sparked me. I think a lot of times we look at other people and we are so quick to judge or have a clarity on who we want to be within a relationship, but don't spend as much energy on who we need to be in the relationship. So really shifting and taking responsibility, even when we're married, we've been together a very long time, but at the end of the day, I'm not responsible for him or his actions. And
That's true.
and if I take responsibility for myself, then I can bring things up. I can make a shift. I can adjust things. So being able to, you know, flow in that as well.
That's really good. That's so awesome. I must say that is one of the things that we focus on with Dreams Divine Dating, or Dating in 3D is how we affectionately call it. 3D, bringing out those things that should be sticking out in your mind that you may, you know, when you're single for a while. And most of the ladies I work with, they're in their 30s to about 60, such as myself. And when you're single for a while, you kind of think you're perfect. You know what I mean? Like, because you're by yourself. There's nobody to tell you got something in your teeth. Or like my son said earlier, I need to brush my hair. Like, there's nobody there to say this is not the way you rock. And so what we actually do before we talk about anything online, anything, we literally talk about who are we? And because you'll realize, I think you all said it earlier, when adversity comes, that's when you know who you really are. And sometimes it's hard to see. That's really hard to see sometimes if you haven't worked on yourself. So we really work on us first. And for those of you who are just tuning in, we're interviewing the Cades in our Black in Love series. I got a message that they were seeing captions and not hearing our voice for a minute. So forgive me for trying to troubleshoot that. I hope it's fixed now. But if not, they'll have a very good script to to go back and read. But yeah, so we really do that because Dreams was actually founded, not because everything was dreamy. It was founded because it wasn't. And I had to look at me, God, what is going on with me? And he literally said, write down everything that is important to you. And when I did, I looked at the paper and the acronym Dreams was going right down the paper. So from everything that was important to me that I was not thinking about, I was thinking about what was wrong, what people were doing to me. I was thinking about all of that, and it was just getting worse. But, you know, taking the time and say, okay, let me focus on the right thing. And that's what God's put in my heart. It began Dreams. And now my dream is to help others fulfill theirs. That's why y'all are here. That's why y'all are here. So let's go on. I mean, because like I said, if you didn't have your notepad out, if you're catching the replay, go ahead and grab it. Now we're going to talk about, and I think you already hit on your best conflict resolution strategy is to talk. Make sure you have that conversation. Think about who you want to be and who you do not want to be. And now, yay, they can hear us. Okay. And now, you know, how you can add to it. If it's a program such as Getting Marriage Mentors, reach out to these people. They're literally giving their time, which is super valuable. And I'm going to give them opportunity to share what they do to encourage you. Okay. Reach out to them. If you're like, I don't know a lot of good married couples, reach out to me. It's embedded in our program. All right. We want success because that's what you deserve. All right. Any surprises? Okay, y'all know each other since 14, so I don't know how this question is. But any surprises in marriage once y'all did get married?
Well, I mean, there's always surprises because the reality is that as a person, you should evolve. You shouldn't be, we're not the same kids we were at 14, nor when we graduated high school at 17 or graduated college at 20. Like, we are nowhere near the same people. And I think in terms of surprises, or just, you know, in terms of, for me, it was just, you know, I didn't know when we got married and we would, you know, we went out and we would have, you know, bacon for breakfast and shrimp for lunch or whatever. And that one day my husband would, you know, embark on a health journey that would take him from eating from his blood type to eating organic to eating vegetarian to eating, you know, vegan to now being vegan gluten-free. And so it was a journey that he went on. And it caused major issue in the house because I'm like, I need bacon.
Right.
So it took a long time for me to, like, you know, come over to his side. But let me tell you where the arguments happened. The arguments happened in the kitchen because it was like, I don't know what to cook. I'm not cooking 2 meals. So really, we went back to what? Our conflict resolution strategy, which was to talk. And we negotiated and we decided that, you know what, it would be best if he then took responsibility for the kitchen. And so once he did that, it completely, there was no reason for us to argue because now there was not 2 meals. There was just the meal he cooked. And I decided that whatever at home, that was, you know, that was fine because I wasn't responsible for it. And it was our resolve. And so just being able to have scenarios like that, even cleaning. Brandon is very OCD. Everything has to be cleaned a certain way, you know, and my mom was that way, but it caused what it did was when my mom did it, we just didn't clean because even if you vacuum, she was going to vacuum where you vacuumed. Even if you cleaned it down, she was going to wipe it down after you. So I just stopped doing it. And so when he would do it, it was a little frustrating because it's like, it's clean. And he's like, oh, but you need to unscrew this cap and clean under the, you know, so because of his own, you know, beautiful OCD that is a blessing to me. Why? Because the house is always clean and,
I love it.
And it's a wonderful thing, but it was causing arguments. Why? Because I was like, dude, I just cleaned that. You're cleaning after me. So we decided at that time, I took on another project and I brought in a housekeeper and I said, honey, the housekeeper represents my contribution to house cleaning. You tell her whatever you want to do, however you want it done.
Love that.
So that way, if I don't do something, there's no issue, there's no animosity, there's no resentment between us because my contribution is represented this way. We agreed to that for years, and it was beautiful because it allowed him to feel like I was making a contribution, and it allowed me to let go of any resentment or responsibility to that action. So those are the ways that we have done it over the course of our journey, and those are the types of things I think that surprised us, or for me, surprised me along the way.
I can imagine. That is a surprise, you know, going from pork to just vegetables or what vegan. He'll break it down for what the vegan gluten-free means. I think I understand a little bit, but we're going to give you that platform because, and by the way, I have tasted some of Brandon's like new, like real clean food. It's amazing. So
it is. I love
It is amazing. And I love the way you said his beautiful OCD. And this is how I know y'all really talked about it, because I'm sure it wasn't beautiful in the beginning, but because you got a resolution, you can actually term it with something that is endearing. This is beautiful. We are definitely talking to the Cades who have been married for 23 years, going on 23 years, and they are letting us know the tips and the strategies for a long lasting, for real type of marriage. And I love that because y'all are so transparent and willing to share. So thank you
You're
again.
welcome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having
We
us.
Absolutely.
really, let's hop into what you all do, because you all have like really interesting and amazing careers, businesses, and all of that. Amazing, beautiful, handsome son. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What do you do? And we'll talk about Aden also.
Go ahead, lady.
So actually this year we celebrate 20 years in business. So not only have we been married 23 years, we've been in business together full time for 20 years. And so a lot of people, a lot of husband and wife teams that come and want to do business together or partnering together or
Mhm.
embarking on something together, a lot of questions we get asked is, how do you do it? How do you do it together? How can
Yeah.
you work together, you're going into
Mhm.
the office, you're seeing each other all day, and you're coming home, and a lot of people are like, how do you do it? And it's so
Right.
funny, for years we would simply answer, we're actually friends. We're
Wow.
actually friends. We're
That's
not,
so dope.
it's
It goes
not
back to
just
your
it's not
friends.
just it's not just a partnership, it's not just roommates, it's not just, you know what I mean, it's not just a date night. We're actually like enjoy being around each other. Now we
Mhm.
also have separate departments, and so it's not like, you know what I mean, it's not like everything is, commingled or collapsed. But
Mhm.
but the thing is that for us in our business, we've been able to journey and help other people start businesses. And so our
Mm.
focus is structure. We do
Mhm.
corporations, LLCs,
Mhm.
nonprofits, just making sure
Mhm.
people make sense at the beginning of their journey in business. We are
Yeah.
consultants. We
Mhm.
work with people directly, the public. We work with CPAs. We work with attorneys, just doing that part of the paperwork to make sure that they're in
Wow.
compliance and they make sense. And so we've seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot of things. We've had diverse partnerships. We have a number of other ancillary businesses that we are involved in, everything from production to adult residential, centers.
Oh,
But the thing is that for us, it's always been about diversification,
okay.
openness, and being able to do, our work, our part of the work in the world. So
Nice.
And the
That's
business.
amazing. We gotta. I wish I had, like, in they have the sound effects like the drums or something, like the clapping. We gotta, give it up. 20 years in business together
yes.
and over 20 being married.
Yeah.
And you said y'all are actually friends. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you to be a friend. When I was younger, I told my mom, and by the way, she said hello. She was on
Oh,
here.
Mama
She said
Green,
hi.
what
She's
oh,
up?
driving now, so she
Hey,
can't
Mama Green.
love her.
but she said, but I used to tell her, I'm gonna go outside to make friends today. She would laugh at me because I thought it was just that simple. Like, you just go out and everybody's gonna be your friend. Little does I know that there's way more substance to going into being a real friend. And you all have strung that chord the whole song. We're friends. We were friends over and through. It's friendship. So if there's anything I want to encourage somebody to do, is to just check your friendship. When you're dating, let's not just think romance immediately. Let's just see if you like the person. Let's see if
That's
you like
it.
them. If they don't put the candlelight dinner in front of you, if she's not rocking her hips today, maybe if she wear tennis shoes, can you still just like her? Let's think about that, because to have the level of success they have in both business and marriage and parenthood, if friendship is not the key, I don't know what else is, other than, God. So let's make sure that we are actually connecting with someone that can be a friend. I just wanted to put that in there because this is beautiful, and a lot of people say it, but I think y'all are explaining it in a way that's a lot more clear, at least to me. So,
Hey,
so yeah, that's awesome. Did y'all want to say any thing else about? Okay, so what's the name of your business? One more time. What's the name of your business?
Executive on the Go.
Executive on the Go.
Yes.
And you know what we're gonna do? Do you mind if I ask you to drop your link so I don't mess it up?
Absolutely.
Here,
As
because
a matter of
people
fact,
the
drop
replay
the
and I
link.
want them to reach out to you. Huh?
There was a song that Angel wrote that I'm going to send you. It's a Wave House. She wrote the song. It was she gave it to me for Valentine's Day. Beautiful song.
What?
Song is incredible. Yeah, she wrote the song, and then we had an artist sing it and had a producer hook it up. But I'm gonna send it to you so you can
Okay,
post it.
that was so
It's fire.
awesome.
It's
Are
fire.
you serious? Okay,
It's
so
not a
we
story,
got
but it's fire. It's fire.
It
So,
was yeah.
you know,
we have artists in front of us too.
oh yeah,
Okay,
she's
so
a genius. You're looking at geniuses right here. Genius.
this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. I love this because not only love is awesome, but it's what, and it's gonna sound real cliche, but it does make the world go around because I can see this is what's making this marriage, the business, and a parenthood. How old is your son? Because I know you have a son. Beautiful.
He's
He
11.
is so loving. How old is he?
He's 11. He'll be 12 April 23rd this year.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Time flies when you get started, when school start happening. Preschool,
Okay.
school, in first grade and classes and programs and assemblies and meetings with teachers and different things. It's like waking up and so he's getting there. He's getting there.
Nice. Please send my love, our love.
Yes.
I promise if Daniel was in here, we would have been on different screens by now. So he's actually hanging out with his uncle. But I'm just, man, that's amazing. Please send my love to him, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get to one of the last portions of our interview. And y'all, if y'all haven't been encouraged, I don't know what's wrong with you because they have talked to us about some really, really good things on how to have a good marriage. Obviously, they built a really good friendship in the beginning. We all won't have 14 to after college years. We all may not have that. But the principle of the matter is that they were able to weather things, talk about things, and they wanted to be successful. So even if your friendship isn't, 8+ years before you get married, make sure there's still a friend. Make sure that you are willing to get to the table. I do want to throw in this just for the men, Brandon. If you could help the men just a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because some men don't like to talk. It's it's just like, it is, you should kind of know what it is type deal. Can you help them to see like how to open up, or like any tips on if you're not a talker, maybe just naturally, what can you do? Or Angel, you could jump into.
I don't know what to say in far as like trying to encourage somebody or trying to see if they're natural talkers. Some people, men, especially black men, are not natural talkers in relationship wise. Some, when it's just kind of like, hey, they feel a certain way, they might think a certain way, they might say something,
right?
And that's it. You might do something and we mad, but it's something that you have to develop. It's something that what I talked about earlier. Who do you want to become? You know what I mean? Do you want to become that, that great boyfriend? Do you want to become that great, that great husband? What do you want to become? And so if you want to have any type of goodness to greatness, behind your title, behind who you are, communication is going to have to be, and you're going to have to find a way inside to be able to communicate. And it's just going to take reps. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take some reps.
Yeah, love that.
It's going to take some time. It's going to take some practice, and you'll get to a point, you'll get to a rhythm, you'll get into this, this hypnotic rhythm where you got it. So something, adversity hitting, boom, you're ready to talk. You know what I mean? You're ready to listen. You're ready to communicate. It's one thing talking. I'm talking to you. I'm talking at you. And you ain't gonna say, where you better like, are you done yet? Are you done? You know what I mean?
Right.
But they have to be able to communicate. And it's okay to be mad. It's okay to be upset. But at the essence of it, what are you upset about? That, you gotta be able to break that down. One good book that I do recommend that the men read is The 4 Agreements by the 4 Agreements.
Paulo?
I don't want to give the name.
Okay.
But if you just Google the 4 agreements or Amazon 4 agreements, it's 4 agreements. And one of those agreements is don't make assumptions. Our brain naturally will automatically assume something when it's not the case. And so I'm guilty of it. You guilty of it. She guilty. Everybody's guilty. Our brain is wired that way. We see something, it automatically assumes something.
It's true.
You look a certain way, automatically assume something. You read a text, you automatically assume. I hate text, to be honest with you. Text and emails black and white. Somebody might say something, text something, and it immediately makes you feel bad. When they probably their intention wasn't that way. That's why all these emojis come in and all these little gifs to try to express what the text is. But it's you got to be able to find that communication.
I'm glad that you mentioned the book, because a lot of it is in language. If we're not used to communicating a certain way, then we don't necessarily have the communication or have the language to be able to express ourselves. And so one thing that has really helped us, because like I said, we're constantly evolving, constantly changing, is even the books that we're reading. Yes. And so a lot of times if I'm reading a book, like I'm in a group or I'm in a network or something like that. And so, I love to turn pages. I love to do that. But for Brandon, he loves on audio on Audible.
Nice.
So I have to, then I will, if I'm like, oh, I'm reading this good book, I then will look for it on Audible to make sure that he has access to it so he can listen to it, because you're going to acquire the language of whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to, whoever you're listening to. But if you're constantly doing it with different things, if I'm reading a different book and he's reading a different book and I'm hanging out with different people and he's networking with different people, then our language is going to be off.
Yeah.
And that's where separation starts. So we realized a long time ago, hey, if he's found something, he shares it with me. If I'm reading something, I'm sharing it with him. And he might not, receive it a certain way. So then I'll make sure it's on Audible, or he'll send me the link for the YouTube, or I'll send him, and we'll go through it that way.
And we collaborate. So that's, I mean, when you have couples, typically they don't work together, or they're not in the same space. So you have somebody, they come home, they sleep, they eat, and then boom, they're driving off to separate locations. And at that one location, they have their group, they have their language, they have, their peers. The other group, they have their language, they have their peers. And so now you got 2 people coming back that's been with these other people for so long,
for a much longer period of time.
And they come back and, oh, she didn't say it like a girl said it in my office, or he didn't do this, you know what I mean? So
he doesn't talk to me like so-and-so.
He's not intellectual. And so it goes to, and it's a good movie. I know everybody probably seen this movie that's watching this, is Why Did I Get Married by Tyler Perry. That's a great movie. And that's
it is.
That scene where they talk about the 80-20 rule. That's a great, it's a great, you know what I mean? What you got to look at your 80. Because you can always see the 20. It's going to look good. It might have a G-string, and it might be all of that, or the super muscles. But what is the 80? You know what I mean? Analyze that 80.
Right.
But what I do, I'm sorry.
He's excited.
But to go back to that communication and helping the brothers, you got to be able to, like I said, you got to be able to develop it. If you haven't, if you don't have it, you got to develop it if you want something to work. Because if there's no communication, that's the lifeline, the communication. If you can't talk, if you got somebody, hey, I can't hear you, huh? You sound like you in the tunnel. What? They on the other side say, I'm dying, fool. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Or they say, I'm about to send you, I'm about to sell you $2,000. What's your like, what? Huh? So the communication is key. And then what I would always say is go back to the assumption. Us as men, we assume, everybody assume, but I'm going to speak to us as men. We assume, and we don't. That's where the communication comes in, because if you don't communicate, that assumption sticks and it's in your brain.
Ooh, yeah.
And then you don't really get down to the undergirding, the underlining. What is it really? You know what I mean? What is it really? You know what I'm saying? I saw that Facebook post that was on your Facebook, and you know what I mean? Like, okay, he trying to talk to you. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is it? You know what I mean?
What
Talk
really
about it.
happens? That happens.
Communicate and allow for the communication to come back and to
Yes.
receive and to say, you know what? Should I be mad about this? Or can I just let this one ride? Just keep going. And that's what it is. A lot of it be pride. A lot of it be pride. We pride.
Ooh,
A lot of it be pride. But
that's
we got to be
true.
able to communicate and really and understand, like, is it worth it? Is it worth the argument? Is it worth? I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I'll say something to her.
Nice.
She'd be like, well, you could have said it this way. And I'm like, you're right. You know what I mean? I'm stupid. You know what I mean? And it's something simple. Like, like
Nice.
she's on her vitamins, she's on her supplements, but hey, you know what? She left a glass, on the counter when I felt she should have cleaned it. You know what I mean? Something like
Right.
she was like, you could have praised me like I'm starting to do my vitamins and be
Right. Like you forgot that part.
You took the negative, just saying you didn't watch this, and I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
And the other
That's
thing is
so good.
being open to have the conversation in front of our son because he's watching it.
Oh, big time.
And it's the way he's going to communicate. And it's the way he's going to feel. And so we take pride in that as well.
Yes. Wow. That's fire. When I tell you that's fire, that is so much fire because you're right. What he's gonna see, he's gonna be in that same position. Is this a relationship type that I want? Is this not? And you're modeling such great skills that I can just see him saying, I want what my mom and dad has, and being able to bless another young lady out there who may not have seen it or who has, and y'all, how that comes together. But that's huge. And that just speaks to legacy on another level. Gosh, that's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Let me tell you, y'all have had the best examples in the entire world discussing the marriage. I am loving it. I'm loving it. I don't know, but I just want to say y'all are teaching us things that many people say in a different way. It's a manner that's so clear. We've heard communication is key, but you're on the phone talking about I got $2,000 for you. You're like, what are you saying about the die? I mean, like that's real. Like that's something you can hear. And when you were talking about men saying you can develop it, like lifting weights, get reps in. You know what I mean? If you want muscles, you may not start with them, but you know that you can get them. So you actually practice, you work. Like that's real stuff. So we are getting to the last portions of our interview with the Cades from California, California. And we're just so excited that you spent this time with us. And so, this is so off cuff, but I have to ask you, what did y'all think about the Super Bowl? Obviously you're happy that the Rams.
anytime
musically.
Anytime you can choreograph crip walking, it's
it's a win.
It's a win.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
It was, I don't know. I mean, for me, it was the best one I didn't see, but
okay,
I might be biased because I'm on the West Coast. But
right.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, cool. I had to ask you. I was like, I could just imagine how hype.
Oh my
God! Everybody is out there.
We was going
nuts. Yeah, it was going nuts because you talking about the Chronic. The Chronic, came out when we was in high school. I believe it came out in 1992. When it like dropped, and it was just a completely different sound. And then from Snoop Dogg, being in our college, college years, coming out in 94, and just, and Mary J just being, I remember when Mary J was, background singing for Father MC.
Yeah.
Right.
Got Puff Daddy in the video dancing, So, you saw a lot of history there. And then, with 50, I love 50. 50, Eminem is great. And then, Kendrick, young brother, from back from LA and just, keeping it real. So it was just beautiful. It just was something that you've never seen before.
Right.
You never seen lowriders own you never seen khakis and you know what I'm saying? They crip walk. It was something you've never seen before.
It was absolutely iconic.
So anything, everything from from Prince, you know, in Rain, and he's singing Purple Rain, which that was incredible.
Right.
Beyonce and
Michael Jackson.
you know, Janet with
Right.
her boo. I still haven't seen it
Yeah.
live, but I can see video. But
Right.
it's a lot of them that you can compare it to, but I don't think there was anything compared to, you know, this last one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm with you. I was jamming with them the whole time. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I've been super blessed. I know you all have been too. If you all are single, especially if you're my ladies out there, you're single. And let me just pause. I'm open to work with men, but let me tell you why I work with women. Because there's a particular thought process that we have as is in the dating game. And I'm not the marriage expert. I bring marriage experts to you. But while you're dating, there is a mindset, there is a strategy, there are things to think about when you're thinking about who you're going to choose. Some of the flags you may overlook, some of those things. I want to be there to help you do that. So if you've been struggling, maybe even thinking about just giving up on love altogether because it hadn't worked, the last heartbreak was too much to even think about doing it again, DM me. Let's not give up on love because God is love. So we know we need God. We know we need love. Don't give up just because the last one didn't work. It's not an ending. It's not the end. You're still breathing. You still desire it deep down. Then I believe it's for you. Let's work together and get you to where you need to be. And then you'll have beautiful people such as the Cades there so they can encourage you through like these interviews. And we actually have a real marriage mentorship program. So the dating side, I got you. The marriage side, they got you. And we're going to put it together to make sure that we are overcoming these challenges, especially in our community. Before we end, though, is there one last thing you could say to someone who is thinking about starting a date? Maybe they have been heartbroken. Maybe they're like, whatever. What would you say to them? What type of things do you think they need to do when they're going to choose who they want? You know, you give it great. Something that you're single, this is what you need to do.
It's a whole lot
Okay.
in that question. It's
There's a lot in there, and I would
Yeah.
the thing that comes up for me is just kind of like, you know, be like Brandon was talking about, like when you argue and you say, okay, is it worth it? Like kind of thinking about yourself in terms of what is non-negotiable. I think, you know, when you're single or when I talk to people that are single, you know, there's some things that they contemplate as non-negotiables, which are which are kind of, you know, wavering. Really be clear on the things for you that are non-negotiable
Okay.
in a relationship. And then the other thing that came up for me was love, you know, self-love, you know, was really loving yourself. I think a lot of people enter into relationships and don't have a love for themselves. That part is missing. They're looking for the other person to feel something, and that person is not responsible to feel anything for you. So making sure that you are clear or you've done the work, you know, some people, I mean, even Brandon knows, like I have, you know, I go through a ton of counseling, and I have coaches, and I have things where I'm developing in safe places where I can talk and express, and I have, you know, angry letters, and I've got all kinds of stuff that come up that I have to work through. But being able to have the space to work through it. And I think that when you're single, being able to do that work on yourself and not bring that into a relationship when you don't have to.
I think that's huge. And I think when you do that, you might cover all the other things that would encompass that. Nikita says hello.
Hey.
So, and hi, Nikita. She's actually they're going to anchor our series this Monday, last day of February. Super supportive, amazing couple also. So thanks for tuning in. But yeah, you're right. The self-love. And I always quote this. I think I'll always do it. If God says we're supposed to love our neighbor as we love ourselves, if we're not loving ourselves, then we can't love our neighbors. So we need to make sure we're loving ourselves, and we love ourselves great, then we can love our neighbors as great as we love ourselves great. And I just want to reiterate, there is strategies, there's things that you can do. Get a mentor. It may not be Dreams Divine Dating. To be very honest with you, I am not for everyone. I'm very real. I'm very silly, but I'm very authentic. And I want to make sure that if you are discouraged in love, we're going to flip that thing. And you're going to take the thing that discouraged you and you're going to actually make that the thing that you harp on. Once again, dreams made out of a discouraging place so that it can encourage others. So if love has hurt you, it's time for you to heal someone else first by healing yourself. And I want to help you all do that with this Black in Love series. So thank you, Cade, so much
Thank
for being
you.
on
Thank you for
here.
having us.
Yes. Don't forget to send me that song, OMG.
Oh, yeah. It's fire.
Because we'll put it out there. I am super
is
great. Y'all, I just want to encourage you to fulfill your dreams in life and in love. Okay. And this started out with like doing books and whatever, but 75% of women who hit me up and said, I want a book, I want a business, said, but you know what, Shonda? I really want a man. I really want to be married. And I kept saying, no, I'm the wrong one. You know, we could get the book published. After about 7 months of this happening, everybody like, yeah, I want that book, but I want to be married. I want to be married. I was like, God, help me, Lord. For real. But now I say, you know what? Love isn't about me. Love is about him. And then it'll be about the two. So I'm here to help you. Reach out to me if you need me, and we will do everything in our power. That's my little man. To encourage you in life and in love. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna let you go enjoy your beautiful Saturday. Y'all cripple walk on out here. And we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you. Okay.
Bye.
Oh, huh? Oh, my mom said she love you.
Oh, Mama Green.
You want to come on
Green, how you
screen?
doing too?
You want to come on screen? Come on. Hey, this is Dreams Go. We can do whatever we want to do.
Hi guys.
Mama Green, how you doing?
Love you guys.
Love you. Look amazing.
You
Look
look
great.
wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Tell
Have a
Papa
great
Green say hello
Saturday.
too.
Okay.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Right. Yeah, I want y'all to know she was on the road. She's texting me the whole time, like, please tell me I say hello. I'm driving, blah, blah, blah. And she made it. Okay, so okay. Oh, and Nikita said that's good stuff. You're absolutely right, Nikita. Everything y'all said was great stuff. Everything. All right. Y'all enjoy your Saturday, and y'all go and fulfill your dreams in life and love. Bye bye.
Absolutely.